Welcome to the channel, everybody. This is Hardware Despair. My name is Ryan, and today we are playing the Unreal world. Thank you so much for joining me. This is our tutorial series, episode number 3. So let's get into it. Now, first let's take a quick peek. There's nothing really going on in our traps, unfortunately, but we've got the northernmost one has a little bait in it. That's what that kind of red thing is, but the other 3 are unbaited. So this will be kind of a good test to see if the bait really matters. And I can tell you, spoiler alert, it doesn't. It might add a small percentage chance to get more, but you'll still catch without bait. Now, first thing I want to focus on today is our gear. This is something we haven't talked about at all, so I'm just going to zoom in because sometimes it's a little nicer to see our guy. Hey there, buddy. So let's take a look at his gear, what he's wearing. I'm going to go to the inventory screen, and this is where we can, obviously we've covered the spear. The knife is awesome. We got a broad knife. The only thing about this particular knife is that it's a big sucker, so like if you need a smaller knife for doing like delicate carving and stuff, this won't be the best thing. It'll take you a little bit more time. The quality of your finished product won't be so good. For instance, if we were trying to carve a wooden bowl, that might not be the best knife for it, but there are other knives we can trade for in the future. So that's the only really thing to keep in mind. This is actually probably a good fighting knife though, so that's positive. And we've got, now here's our armor and clothing. I'll tell you what we're looking at here is pretty bare bones. We don't even have anything on our hands, which is a definite problem. Even sometimes in the summer, because we are officially in the summer. If this were any other playthrough, I'm sorry, if we were in any other season right now, like the spring, fall, or winter, yeah, we would be in serious trouble. But you can cope with that. It's just for a more experienced player. If you're going to start this game brand new, start in the summer. Don't go for those other 3, because you will start with a set of clothing that is roughly equivalent to this. It's not necessarily going to be the best of the best. That you've got to get for yourself. So we've got footwear, and it's a fur footwear, so that's actually decent, but it has the rough modifier, which means it's not the best. Actually, it's one of the worser quality footwears that we could be wearing, but it's fur, so that's a positive. It'll keep us warm. Now we've got some rough linen trousers. Those are decent. It's just, well, they're rough quality. We've got a woolen undershirt. Now this, I should say, is a truly just decent shirt. There's nothing wrong with it. It's woolen undershirt. That's really a positive to have. Another thing to kind of keep in mind is if you look at the weights on these suckers too, that'll come into play here in a moment. We're going to talk about what you can do with some of these clothing, and the weight will factor into that. But the undershirt is one of the heavier pieces of gear we're wearing. The nettle cloak. So this is more like a cloak, but nettles are not the best. That's basically like something woven together out of, well, nettles, pine needles or whatever. But the rough birch bark, again, another like vegetation made a piece of item, and not the best. So we've got a lot of room for improvement. The woolen socks are pretty nice, but we need something else on our hands. What would be ideal would be some fur mittens. But anyway, so when you want to take something off, you need to, I believe you need to be on this screen and hit Shift T. Yeah, okay, so when you're actively wearing gear, you can't manipulate it from the inventory screen at all. So earlier I mentioned the weight can be a factor. If I wanted to, for instance, take off this woolen shirt, if I was in an extreme survival situation, which we kind of are, and I needed some cordage, you could actually take your shirt off and tear some material off of it and make cords with that. Okay, maybe we should do that just for demonstration purposes. I don't really want to tear up my woolen undershirt though. Maybe we'll do one from the trousers. Yeah, the cloak is probably better. I don't know if we can do it from nettle, but this is just demonstration, so it's no big deal. So in order to take the item off, you can't really rip it while you're wearing it. We're going to hit Shift and T. So Shift T for take off. That includes things like a spear. The water skin, it won't let us. I don't know why it even shows those things there. But the armor and clothes is what we're focused on. So what I want to do is select the item that I'm taking off. Let's try the nettle cloak. I selected it, and I'm going to hit the space bar to accept that. And it took him a second. I don't know if you noticed it. There was a brief like green bar that flashed. That was him taking it off. So now if we go to inventory, the nettle cloak, the only indicator is that that we're not wearing this item now is that there's no little picture of it right here. This is just an item in our inventory as opposed to something we are actively wearing. Now, once we've got it taken off, I can go and select it. No. Okay, what I want to do is I need to go into the actual crafting menu. So again, you can't do it while you're wearing that stuff, but the first step is take it off. So we hit S for skills. Actually, I think I'm wrong again. No. Okay, so hold down Shift plus M. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so the Shift plus M command is like your crafting command. So you can see it says handcraft options. There's other stuff you can do like traps and building and things like that, but this is Shift M is an important one, and it's not something you can access under your skills. A lot of your stuff is accessed under skills, but if you're actively crafting, it's going to be Shift plus M. I almost forgot about that. But here we go. Utility articles, that would include, oh no, here we go. Tying equipment. This game has just recently been updated, I should say that, and I haven't played it in, I don't know, at least a year or so. So there are some slight differences here, which is good. It looks like he's recategorized some of these things. But tying equipment right there. So now we've got different options. I'm thinking what we've got probably isn't viable. Like I said, I don't think we can pull like pieces of our nettle cloak apart to make cloth cord. It's certainly not leather. So that's okay. What we'll do is we'll go back to take. I'm going to take I'll just take the woolen undershirt off, and we'll put those things back on here in a moment. Let's just get to our cordage demonstration and utility art. No, I'm sorry. Tying equipment, cloth cord. Okay, so that's what we're going to go with. And I'm going to say, now it's asking me how many of these do I want? You don't, if you want 5, I mean, I understand that you're going to need them, but that's going to tear apart most of your shirt. You know what I'm saying? So we're just going to go with 1. We can sneak by taking 1 cord off our shirt and still like retain most of the warmth, you know, from our shirt. If you take 5, that's like I said, you're going to be wearing half a shirt. So 1 is good enough. Now we are going to let's try and do the nettle cloak. Oh, it is going to let me. Okay. Cool. Well, it was an option, so we tried it, and you can see if it wouldn't let me, it would tell me. There would be like red words here saying, you know, not viable or something to that effect. Anyway, so it's going to tell us right here, we're taking a half a pound of cloth, and we need a knife and a branch for twisting, and the knife is obviously for cutting. So let's go ahead and push space to confirm. Takes them, about 32 minutes exactly. And let's go into the inventory and take a look at our cloth. So we now have poor cloth cord. It's poor quality. Our crafting isn't that great at this point, I guess, but that's okay. It still works. And actually, most importantly, what this is good for is for drying meat, because whenever you dry meat, you're going to need cordage, but that's for a future. Hopefully in the near future, if we catch something. But this is good. It's not very heavy, so I'll just keep this on me. It's handy to have cordage, a little bit of cordage on you at all times. So we're going to keep that for traps and stuff. Now I'm looking at my food, actually, because my guy's a little bit hungry. I would save this food, but the roasted is something it's like the least preserved. It's just if you cooked it on the fire. Now you can also dry, smoke, and salt meats, but we don't have those options right now. So for one thing, because we don't have any meat, but we are going to go ahead and just eat this. I'll go ahead and scarf down those crowberries too. Why not? We could put those in a trap, but like I say, it's not super necessary. So anyway, let's go ahead and put back on our clothing. I want to go to the inventory screen. No. Is it Shift T? Okay, it's actually Shift W. I've forgotten some of these commands already here, but so Shift W for woolen undershirt, and that's asking me what do I want to wear, so I'm going to select both of those, and he can put those on. First of all, too, let me tell you, if you forget keyboard commands and stuff, if you look down here, you can go to Escape for help and game options. So if we hit Escape, oh, is it going to do it? There it goes. Now go to keyboard commands. Now this is where you also will save when you're done. If you want to quit and save, just go here and hit Control S to save the game, and that'll load you back out to the menu. But again, for keyboard commands, it'll show you. Here's a list of stuff, and you can scroll down with your mouse and see inventory and using items, interacting in chat, and things like that. So that's where I would have found, for instance, wheeled wear. wear clothes or armor, take off clothes or armor. And see, it doesn't say shift, it just shows you the larger letter, the uppercase letter, as opposed to the lowercase over here. So that's this, again, this is where you would find that kind of info. And it's pretty extensive. It's interesting. There's also an encyclopedia if you want to get into the actual lore, because this game is based on true cultural lore, from another country. And if you want to learn about that, that's it's interesting, and it's all included in a lot of it's included in the encyclopedia. Okay, so that's a side note. We've dealt with our clothing. We've got a piece of cord. We're now re-wearing everything. We still need some gloves. So the mission is to, well, get some game. We need to bag ourselves an animal. We can see that there's nothing in our traps. I do have some stones. Let's pick up 4 stones. Oh, I probably need some branches too. I'm going to go ahead and grab some branches off this tree. This is why I love having a tree right next to my home base, because I can always have quick access to branches and I don't even have to move. You just do the operation right there and it drops right in your shelter. All right, so we've got 36 branches. That's plenty. Pour cord. We don't need the cord, but I'm taking it. 4 stones. So again, I'm just going to carry the stones, and we'll get the trees that we need at the location where we're going to set our traps. So everything's good. It's warm. We're feeling our vigor level is lively. That's the second highest you can be in terms of your energy state. So we're doing well. Let's go for a little hike. All right, to the world map we go. Now, keep your eyes peeled, guys. Watch out for any moose or bear or anything that you might see on the world map, because we might take a shot at it. Maybe not a bear, but we'll definitely go for an elk if we see one. All right, first I want to stop at our previous trap location just to check it. Nothing's there. All right, no big disappointment. I didn't figure anything would be after a day. But and those berries, that berry patch that we set it on isn't really even full grown yet, but that's okay. We're going to check this spot. This is just a good spot. I just kind of, actually I have no idea if it's a good spot. I just kind of picked it randomly. Just looking around. There's some berries. Let's go. Actually, are these might be ripe. It will be fully ripe after months. Yeah, no, these are not ripe yet. But it's as good a spot as any, so let's do it. I mean, the birds might be able to come and eat the unripened berries, and we can't. I don't even know. But we're just going to lay some lever traps down. Oh, wait, I forgot. I'm missing the slender trunks. Yeah, we didn't bring those. I said I'd get them here. So let's cut this sucker down. Shift, or not shift, I'm sorry. I see the S button, and I think shift. S, M for Timbercraft, and then I'm going to hit F for Fell. And it's confirming it with the space bar. Started to rain again. No worries. Okay, so 3 trunks dropped. I'm going to pick those up, knowing that my guy is big and strong enough to do that. S, R for the traps, and then 1 for the lever. That's the most basic trap. That's the simplest. Like, you really don't need anything, any processed materials, just a stick, a rope, or a stick, a stone, and a couple of branches. Now, like I mentioned last episode, you don't want to place them directly next to each other for reasons. So I'm going to put a space between them. But we can place them directly on these bushes, so that's kind of cool. You can see that that'll come in handy at some point, hopefully. And when these things do ripen, we can actually come back here and pick the rest of them. We'll pick every other berry around these bushes, but the ones we've got our traps on. Okay, so it's important, again, to kind of position yourself where you want to re-enter the map, because wherever you leave is where you will enter once this tile is left, once you've left the tile and you return to it. Now, it's getting a little bit later. It's late evening, so it's getting darker. I can see, it's starting to rain again, so we're going to go home. Let's look. Anything in the traps? Nothing yet. Don't get discouraged, though. And you might experience a little starvation at the beginning. You might start to build up this bar here, the starvation bar, but that's okay. I mean, because at this point, I don't have anything to eat. So our hunger bar is just going to keep going up and up and up. And it'll max out, and then our nutritional level will start to drop. And again, the starvation bar will go up. So you've got several weeks before you're going to get seriously, affected by it, but it is a concern. Okay, so there's not much we can do at this point to try and get our food up. The best thing to do to kill a little bit of time if you need to kill time. We really honestly don't need to now because it's late enough and I'm plenty tired. But you can kind of get your schedule off a little bit sometimes, depending on what you're doing. And you might get to a point where it's like nighttime, but you're still like wide awake, you know? So one good thing to do is just to, let's zoom in a little bit, just take branches off your tree. So S, M, and T for the branches. And let me tell you, this is something you can do infinitely. There, at no point will this tree ever lose branches. So you can just do this over and over. And it doesn't take long. It's like a 10-minute time period. So nothing like crazy is going to happen while you're doing this. And you can stop at any point and just say, okay, he's weary now. Let's go ahead and go to sleep. Boom. It's morning. There we go. And now we've got, 66 branches at our feet. So that's one thing I'd like to do to kill time. Branches are going to come in handy too. I think we can make some cordage with them. That might be wrong. They've added different recipes for the cordage here. If we go to tying equipment, see this spruce withe or white. I'm not sure how this is pronounced with the E there. I want to say withe, but the spruce and birch withe. Those things I'm not super familiar with. Usually what I do is I rely on fur, animal fur, to make all my cordage. So really we need to get out there and start hunting. I mean, we're doing a passive hunting with our traps, but I would love to see an elk on the world map right now, and maybe go do some what they call attrition hunting, which I'll get into if we do actually spot one. So we're gonna get a little crazy. We're gonna push some of this black space back, kind of explore a little bit more. Let's go. I don't like going too far into the dense forest because you can't see as well. So it doesn't open up the map as well when you're traveling. That's again another great reason why I love living in these big marshy open areas. There's really no reason I can see why you would want to spend a lot of time in the dense forest there. Oh, look, okay. Now this isn't an animal. Obviously, this is a little NPC character here. Now you need to learn to distinguish who's good and who's bad. And sometimes you can't. You won't know. But I can tell you for one that this guy with the blue cloak here, where'd he go? Oh, he just disappeared. Well, you saw him there for a second. He'll come back. There he is. Okay, it's a traitor. Traders are never hostile unless you attack them, of course. But so you're going to come into the actual little local terrain map and you see like 5 or 6 of these guys. Sometimes they can be behind you too. They're not hostile. You can just talk to them. So I'm going to hit the shift button, hold that down, and hit C. Shift C is asking me, who do I want to chat with? So C for chat. And you can't do it. I could probably talk to this guy. We could like shout back and forth. But if I try to select this guy, he's going to be too far. I like, it says it right there. You get no response. Go closer. So the distance does matter when you're chatting. So with this guy right here, like I said, yep, we can chat with him. So when I hit enter, it brings me to this screen. And here he is. He's the foreign trader there. We've got several chat options. The first one is greet, ask for directions, command, ask help company, deliver an item, trade items. So a lot of these don't apply to a trader. Like, for instance, command. You're not going to be able to command this guy. This option is here for future use when you can actually recruit people to help you, to fight for you, or to build for you and stuff. And command will become that relevant in that situation. For now, basically, the only thing that's relevant here is to say, hey, how's it going, buddy? You want to greet him? You can talk to him a little bit, get to know him. It might help with like negotiating a little bit later on once we trade, but I normally don't, just for the interest of time. If I want to trade with these guys, because there's like 5 or 6 of them, I just go in here and I hit T, trade, and he'll say, yeah, I've got some stuff to trade. Let's see what you got. So this is his inventory. He's got a battle axe, 2 small bronze brooches, and a ball pendant. Now the battle axe is pretty self-explanatory what that's for. That's a handy item if you got a specialty in axes for sure. These items right here are just strictly trade. I think that there's some silver items you can get too. Sometimes you'll find those on guys, but silver I think has some ritual purposes. Maybe bronze does too, but mostly these 2 things are just for trading. The battle axe, though, like I said, is now here's the deal: we can't trade. We're not very wealthy, but the traders like these blue cloaked guys, the only thing they will accept from you are skins. That's all they want. Animal skins, bears, elks, reindeer, they love it all. Even the little stuff. Like if you get like 40 reindeer or 40 squirrel furs, you could probably get that battle axe. Actually, I don't know exactly how many you need, but it would be a lot of squirrel. One bear cloak or one bear pelt would probably do it though. And that's an important distinction. Don't make clothing out of your fur if you want to trade with these guys. They don't want clothing. They just want the furs. So we'll get to that, obviously, furs and stuff once we kill an animal. But for now, that's all you need to know. So we can't really do anything with these guys. We'll just demonstration purposes. One thing it's important to note, though, is like I said, you cannot leave a map while there's people or animals around you. So you actually have to kind of run away from them. So you need to leave the area before you can actually come back to the world map. So they're behind us. We're just going to keep looking around. Let me go to the actual big map here. Let's look. Okay, so we can see, again, if you missed the first episode, these colors are indicating the cultures. So we don't know exactly where their cities are, but we know they're somewhere in this color blob here. And if I were to scroll around the map, maybe I can't. Hold on. I should be able to. Yeah, there we go. So you can see, here's the other ones all over the world. But we can't really see it. We just have a general idea of where they're at this point. Once we explore and open it up, we will be able to tell. But you can see our traps are over here. The shelter's down below there. You can mark locations too. You just have to do it on the spot you're standing. So I can't mark different spots from anywhere I'm at. If you want to mark a location, you literally need to go to it on the map. But anyway, we'll do that for our shelter. I'll show you when we get home. Right now, we're lively. We're sweaty. There's our shelter. We're going to explore a little bit south of that. Let's see what's down here. You can see our food bar is filled up, and it's turning like a forest green there. Yeah, that's bad. So eventually it'll start turning red. Oh, look, there's a nice body of water right there. Yeah, this is a nice little lake. It's not big. Oh, wow. Kind of stretches out. This is an interesting land formation right here. We'll zoom in right here. I want to show you this. Now, this is forested, but if you look, there's a peninsula here, basically, is what this is. There's a connector between the lands on either side of this lake. So let's zoom in. Sometimes these can be really interesting areas to build traps. So let's go to this location. I'm going to zoom back out just so I can see what's going on here. Of course, I'm going into stealth mode. As I said, get into that habit. Every time you go to the local terrain map, go into stealth. I see some bushes right here real quick. I want to check these out. What are these? Okay. It's a blueberry. Ooh, blueberries right here. Yeah, they're not ripe yet, though. Got a few months. That's okay. A lot of these berries will not ripen until the fall, but there are some different species that are probably ready right now. We just got to go and find them. Okay, so look, yeah, you can see that the land here, right at this place, where I said it almost looked like the water was connected on the world map, but you can see it's not. There's a land bridge right here, which is an awesome place to build like a fence and then put like traps. You can build fences so that animals can't cross them. And then you would build like a little trap pit right here, and then build more fences, and then another trap pit, and just do that all the way across, because it's not a very wide, and might take you a couple days. It's a fairly big construction project, but there's plenty of trees. It's doable, and it's a great spot for that. Now also, oops, no, we're not going to do any climbing here. No, thank you. Check out all these stones, though. I'm going to pick these up for sure. Okay, I managed to pick up 13 stones. We got some rocks too. But the stones are not just important for traps, although they do play a role in several different kinds of traps. They're also important for construction. Like a cellar, you need stones for. Obviously, a fireplace, you're going to need stones for. So I'm always grabbing them. If I know I'm like headed back to the shelter soon, I just grab them. Okay, so here we are back at the shelter. Now let's place a marker on this location. I do often do this because it helps me like see it a little bit better, especially on the actual map. So what I'm going to do is, like I said, you need to physically be at the location you want to mark on this map. Now once we're here, I believe we hit A. Yeah, here we go. A for add marker at character's location. Now, this is a big menu here, but you can set the color and stuff. I never do that, but I'm just going to edit text. So I'm going to hit enter. And now I'm going to say camp 1. And then I'm going to hit enter a couple more times. You can add an extra layer of text there if you want to get really descriptive. And then that's it. Just hit escape to exit, and you'll see now there's an X there. And there's also an X marked on the world map. So it's very handy, actually. It kind of makes it easier to see. I'll also add markers. Like if I go to a location where I know there's reindeer, like I encounter reindeer there, especially reindeer because they always go in big packs and stuff. So I'll mark a location and go back to that time after time, hunting reindeer at the same location. Now, they won't stay there forever, but that's just how reindeer operate. They like to kind of migrate. All right, so we've gotten here. It's late evening. We're weary. I'm just gonna go ahead and sleep. There's nothing in our traps, sadly. But like I said, don't get discouraged. If you want, oh, okay. So we went to bed, but we were so hungry that we woke up. So one of the consequences of becoming malnourished and starting to starve is you're never gonna get a full night's rest. So what you're gonna have to do is continually hit Shift and Z until you get yourself all the way your vigor level to vigorous. That's the maximum, by the way. So it's vigorous, lively, and then I don't remember what's next. But you want to get up to vigorous, and you're going to have to force him to sleep over and over again because, like I say, you'll never get a sound night's sleep when you're starving. It's sad, but it is true. Okay, so here we are back at base camp again. A lot of repetitive tasks once you get settled and you're trying to survive. So wake up in the morning, go check your traps. Let's check this location. Nothing. Darn it. I'm starting to see. Are there more berries? I think there's more berries. Yeah. Okay. Now, berry picking does take a fairly significant amount of time, 15 minutes, which doesn't sound like a lot, but if your body is really starving or if you're injured, 15 minutes can make a difference. So don't stop and pick berries when you're hurt. But this is a good time because obviously we need these. Okay. So yeah. And we want to pick all these around here. So maybe we should, yeah, let's go ahead and bait the traps just to give ourselves maximum benefit. And we'll still have a few berries for ourselves too, so don't worry about that. Oops, I hit the wrong button. Shift, R, B, there we go. And I always say shift, I'm sorry, S, R, B, and then the direction. There we go. Yeah. All right. So I'm going to zoom back out, and I don't like to stand next to the traps when I exit because I feel like there could be something in there to attack me, when I step into the spot. So I always kind of back away from it a little bit, and then I exit. All right. So let's go to our other location where we set the traps here. This is right here. Beautiful. Nothing. Oh, look, though. You see the bird? He's right there. He's flying. He's in flight right now. So I can tell you that if a bird's in flight, it's almost completely useless to try and go for it. Imagine trying to throw a spear at a bird in the air. You might get it, but I've never done it successfully. And you often end up throwing your weapon, or if it's an arrow, if you're shooting arrows at it, you're going to lose those arrows. But anyway, so it's possible when they do go to the ground to hunt them, but they're very flighty, obviously, and it's very difficult. Now, one thing I just noticed up here is an important resource, which we haven't touched on yet. So this is a log. And logs, believe it or not, it's a tree trunk. I should say it's not a log. A log is a different thing, but we'll get to that much later on. It's a tree trunk. Tree trunks are turned into logs, but for now, this is just a trunk. It means it's got all the bark and stuff and twigs on it. But this is extremely important. We're going to need one of these back at our base. I don't think I'm going to worry about trying to bring this one home. For one thing, you can't pick up tree trunks, no matter how big and strong your guy is. I don't think there's a person who can pick up a tree trunk and carry it like that. So this is, yeah, it says it there. It's too heavy to lift. There's some things like that. Like if you kill a bull elk, you're not going to be able to lift up the whole bull elk. But anyway, we're going to leave this. It's a shame, but maybe we should head home and look for a trunk. Although that's a little bit boring. Let's keep trying to explore the world map. All right. Nothing there. I'm not seeing any animals. Oh, our starvation grows. I thought we encountered somebody. That's another reason to kind of avoid the forest. You can't see where you're going, so you could actually stumble onto a group of bandits and stuff, and that's game over, friends. Unless you just willingly give them every single item you have. which is, I mean, preferable to death. But yeah, it really sucks to have to start over like that. All right, let's see. We're getting pretty far from the shelter, but I'm keeping a close eye right here. We're sweaty, which is fine. Don't worry about overheating in this game. That's not a factor. You can sleep sweaty. It doesn't matter. In fact, it's preferable because you don't want to be cold. Cold will kill you. And lively. Our vigor level is pretty good, so we're going to keep pushing. It's noon. It's not getting too bad here. Oh, this is a nice little hunting ground. Look at that. Beautiful. Oh, it's too bad I don't see any animals here. Come on, give me an elk, please. Okay, well, I thought I saw something in the distance, like a brown speck on the map, so I went to it, and then it wasn't there. So I walked into the forest, like I just told you guys not to do, and it was a bear. Now, I got lucky. I didn't actually step on the bear, but you'll see the icon. There's the bear. He's right there. So if I were to move one space forward, we would encounter this bear. Granted that he doesn't happen to be like walking away from me at that point. That's possible, but I don't want to fight a bear right now. I'd love to show it to you, like a but it's a very good chance we would die and this playthrough would be over. So we're not tangling with a bear right now. What I'm going to do is I'm not even going to turn. I'm just going to back away. So once you get the hang of the directional controls, you can just back away from a position where you're still facing like this. So I'm essentially walking backwards. So I'm just going to slowly back away from that bear. And you can see he kind of pops in and out. That means that he's walking too. So he's moving to a spot right there where my visual field is not active right there. So he's kind of in that shadow right now. But he'll move, he'll come in and out of it. And eventually he'll leave that area. He's not necessarily going to stay there forever. So we're just going to keep moving. I'm tempted to go for him, but now we're gonna look for an elk. That's what I'm looking for. I want to show that to you guys. Okay, so now remember I said you can push your guy pretty hard. That's basically what I'm doing right now. Obviously we're starving, but that's not by choice. But you'll see that we are extremely tired right now. And it's late evening, so we're still here. I'm nowhere close to my shelter. Well, that's not entirely true. We're somewhat close to it. But I'm not going to sleep there tonight. What I'm going to try and do is go ahead and sleep right here in the middle of the forest on the world map. You can do that on the world map. I'm going to hit Shift and then Z. Now, we woke up because we're starving to death, but I'm just going to hit Shift and Z again to force them to go back to bed. This wouldn't be possible. If it started raining right now, that would kind of suck, and I'd have to just get up and walk around while he still wasn't fully rested. But as you can see, it's early morning. We slept out here in the forest, and we're totally fine. It didn't rain on us, so we can keep exploring. Oh, look, there's a mountain. This one's not a mirage either. Awesome, look at that. So that's cool. It's hard to see it, but that is a mountain there. You can see it's covered with trees, but we're going to step on it. And let's go into it. Let's look at the local terrain map. So this is what a mountain looks like. Now, again, I've said it's rare to see them out here like this all by themselves, but this is a good find because there's going to be a whole bunch of stones around here for sure. So we could pick all these up. Well, not all of them. I could pick up as many as I want and come back here. Oh, look, there's a fox. But yeah, see that white fox? So what I'm going to do right now is use the look feature. So if you hit L, that pops up a little circle, and you can move this around. I can look at this rock right here, and it says you see a stone there. So if I move it to the, oops, I'm sorry, I have to hit L again. Do I? Yeah, there we go. So if I hit L again and I go to the fox, I can look at that guy. You see an Arctic fox there. There he is. Now, if he were wounded, it would tell me. It would say he's got a bruised leg. If he was winded or fatigued, it would also say that, and that's a very important indicator in certain circumstances. But I'm not going to waste my time chasing a fox, I'll tell you that much. It just happened to be here at the mountain. Foxes aren't typically aggressive either. You don't really need to worry about fighting a fox. Like, I can turn my back on that fox and it'll be okay. But if that was a bear, I would be more nervous. And you will find bears in mountains. There are caves that bears will live in and stuff. So you want to kind of be aware of that. But that one was safe. There was no bears there. All right, so let me check out the map again. Whew. So you need to get back to the darker parts. Not the black part, but this part where it's darker green here. That indicates the lowlands. So that's better hunting there. Okay, so we must be pretty high north on the map because there are quite a few mountains. And in fact, I just noticed one with a cave on it right here. So there it is. See the black cave? I'll zoom in. There it is. So it's a mountain. It's got a little mountain on it, and there's a cave. Now, we can enter the local terrain map, and you're not going to be inside the cave or anything. So don't worry about that. I'm going to go into stealth mode. I'm going to peek behind me. Okay. You can see we're kind of on the edge of a hill or a mountain here. I'm avoiding the cliffs. Those are those darker edges. And we're going to go around to the front of this cave. I think it's right over, it's probably on this side. I'm avoiding the cliffs. All right, so here's the mouth of the cave. It's possible, like I said, that there could be a bear in here, so I don't want to go in too deep. It's hard to see in caves. Like, well, I can, for one, see that there's a cliff right in front of me. So we can't even go straight there. It's going to ask me, do I want to climb? See, I'm going to say no. But as you go through a cave, like it doesn't open your visual as well. You need a torch. What we would need to really open that up is a torch to see ahead of us. Because if you go in a cave blind like that, you're going to, and there's a bear, you're probably going to stumble into your death. So don't go too far into caves without making a torch. But I'm not going to bother with that. Although I do see 7 patches of growing curly grass. Let's try and identify those. So I hit SE for herbology, herblore, and it says we do not recognize it. Now, I know from experience, I think this is heather. So, and it's perfectly safe to eat, and it's also good for the wounds. I believe that's what this is. It's hard to tell this early. But I'm going to go ahead and pick this stuff because, yeah, like I said, we can probably eat it safely. Don't, if you're not sure, then don't eat it because you could die. But especially don't eat mushrooms. Don't eat any mushrooms. Now, there are some that are fine, but you know, you're safer not eating mushrooms. I will tell you this, every berry that you come across is safe to eat. There are no poison berries in this game. So every single thing that's a berry, even if you don't recognize it, go ahead and eat it. It's not a big deal. But like some of these plants that you will pick, you don't want to eat. Some of them are okay to eat, but like I say, if you don't know, don't do it. Now, if you don't really care, or if you guys like starving and really close to death, then you just might want to try experimenting with it. You know, that's a good way of kind of learning for yourself exactly what plants are good and whatnot. Okay, so we learned what a cave looks like. Now I'm going to go back to the world map, and I'm determined to show you guys an elk hunt before this episode's over. Okay, well, it didn't really take me very long, and I did find an elk. So this is a good season for it. You know, summer is not a bad time. I'm also noticing my thirst is way too high, so I'm going to take a quick break. You can drink and eat on the world map. I'm going to hit Q, and then I'm going to select what I want to drink. That's good. It took me about 10 minutes, but the elk didn't move, so he's still there. I hope you guys can see him. There he is, right there below me. So we're going to move towards him. We are going to actively hunt this guy. Now, it's important to be prepared for this hunt. And what I mean by that is you don't want to be tired. Right now we're in a good season. It's summer, so we're not carrying a lot of stuff. Actually, I am carrying a lot of stuff. I have 239 pounds on me. I just realized that. So let me drop some stuff. Yeah, I'm going to drop these stones. I'm going to drop the rocks. And that's it. Yeah, I'll keep the branches. That's fine. Now you can still see it there on the world map, and actually, so I can come back and get that stuff, I'm going to add a quick note. Leave that there. Perfect. Okay, and I can delete that too later. So once I pick up my stuff, because we might end up chasing this guy for a little way. Now let's see here. Okay, so we've dropped. We're not carrying very much. That's just basically my gear right there. 36 pounds. It's like my clothes, and we've got our spear equipped. I've got plenty of energy. So that's what these numbers are. We haven't talked about this. The penalty, This is right. I believe it's this one. Yeah, the bottom where it says total. This is like your amount of energy you have potential for. So if it gets to 100%, you're going to have to stop and rest. But we're at 5%. So we're like almost as far. We're fully energetic. We're ready to do some sprinting. We're ready to hunt this sucker. So if I was at like 40%, I would suggest you rest. Don't sleep. You just want to rest. And I'm not going to do that now because I don't want to waste time. But let's just get into this hunt. We'll rest at another point. So he is standing pretty still for me. And sometimes they'll move. Like, okay, there he goes. He just moved a little bit. Now, it says we have encountered an elk. Or an animal. We think it's an elk. We're going to push space to continue. And it automatically takes us to the terrain map. Now, First things first, hide. Go into stealth mode. Again, it doesn't slow you down. I'm going to zoom out. When I'm hunting, I need to be fully zoomed out here. Okay. Now, we've got this guy. He's facing away from us. That's the reason we're able to go into stealth. Okay. So I'm going to turn and I'm going to move up. Okay. He still has not noticed us yet. All right. So I'm just trying to get a little bit closer. Now, this is not ideal. Okay. I wish I had a bow and arrow, but we don't. The only projectile we have is our spear. I don't want to lose this spear, but I am going to throw it at him. Now, this is a risky move because if it sticks into him, he's going to take off running. And we've got to get him to get the spear. So let's do this. We're basically, what we're going to do here, whether we hit this guy or not with the spear, is we're engaging in what's called attrition hunting. Or basically, stamina, we're going to wear him out. So that's what we're going to attempt to do with this elk. Now, let me go ahead and make my throw. I'm going to hit T to throw. It's asking me, what do I want to throw? I'm going to throw the spear. And now I'm going to aim it. I'm going to put the circle on the guy. It's going to ask me, where do I want to go for? I'm just going to go for the easiest shot, his body. Let's see. Let me zoom. No, I can't zoom in. Okay, let me just throw it. Oh my God. Okay, so we hit him. That spear nailed him. Let's see. We can see. Hits its shoulder. The elk flees. Now, very important, we already used the look command earlier to look at the fox. Before we start running after this guy, let's look at him. I want to see. Escaping, wounded bull elk. It is suffering from a minor puncture. It's carrying our spear. So that look command is very, very helpful when you're hunting. So I'm going to escape to get out of that. Now, we're going to start running. I want to leave stealth and start running because this guy is officially in run mode right now. It's hard to notice it, but I'm glad it's not raining because you can see he's got like a little dirt cloud below his feet. That means he's running. We're also, when I hit shift and hold down shift and push R, suddenly now you can see it below my feet too. So I'm officially running. It says it, you run. So we're going to hopefully keep up with this bad boy. Now, he's definitely faster than us, but that's okay. Don't panic. Don't panic. Okay, so he is out of our visual range. Couple things to note. While I'm running, this number is increasing much quicker. So I'm actually going to stop running. I'm going to take this in short bursts, okay? We're going to go back into stealth mode. Now, second thing to notice is he's left footprints behind. That's what the black markers are right in front of me. See those little, look, you can see them. They look like little hoof prints. So I don't need to actually hit my my tracking skill. There's a skill for tracking here. Right here it is. So this is an active skill you can use to kind of interpret where these tracks are facing. I don't need to do that for this particular moment because I know where they're facing. They're facing this direction. We just saw him run. So what I need to do is just keep my eyes open and follow the tracks for now. Keep myself zoomed out all the way because if you're zoomed close in like this, he could be right here, but you won't see him because you're zoomed in. So you need, when you're hunting, stay all the way zoomed out and follow the tracks. Now he's coming to a body of water. It's possible that, nope, there, I was going to say, it's possible he went into the water, but he didn't. He's directly ahead of us. He has stopped running. Do you see him? There's no cloud of dirt under him. He's basically taken a little rest, hoping that we've left him alone, but that's the last thing we're going to do. I'm going to look at him again. I hit L. I went to him. He looks slightly fatigued. Like I said, this is attrition hunting. We are trying to get him so that he can't run anymore. That's the goal because we don't have anything but a knife right now. So I need to get this guy completely fatigued. It's tricky, but we can do it. Okay, so we're going to hit escape. I'm going to hit escape again, and we don't have any weapons. I think I will real quick go ahead and wield my knife, but get ready. And let's go ahead. I'm going to stealth. I'm just going to kind of creep on him. Okay, so he still doesn't notice me. He's kind of, okay, I think he's turned. He didn't see me, though. No, he's still kind of wandering. Now, I want to keep the pressure on him. Like I said, I don't want to get him a lot of opportunity to rest. So I'm going to start running at him. Now, I'm going to break my stealth, hit Shift R, and start sprinting. There he goes. He noticed me. Now he is sprinting too. Let's look at him again real quick before he probably leaves the edge of the map. He's still slightly fatigued. Perfect. Let's get him even more fatigued. What do you say? Let's put that pressure on him. I kind of want to run to his last position and then follow his tracks. All right. I'm going to, like I say, take it in short bursts. So we're going to stop running. You can see our total. We're now at 13%. When that gets to 100, we've lost him essentially. If I get to 100%, I have to stop and rest and he gets away. So don't push yourself too much. Let's keep going though. We're stealthing. Oh God, where's his tracks? See, we've lost the tracks because they're in these berry bushes. Oh, there they are. So we picked them up again. We got lucky because I kind of knew the general vicinity of where he went. But once he leaves the map, like your visual field, he could go off in any direction. So you really do need to keep an eye on the tracks. But there he is again. He's directly ahead of me. Let's look at him, see his fatigue level, if that's changed. It has not. So he's still slightly fatigued. Let's get a little closer. And then I want to, yep, okay, he saw me. So he broke my stealth there. I didn't do that. He saw me. So we dropped out of stealth. Now I'm going to run. He's getting himself trapped by the water. This is awesome. This is going to tire him out immensely. I'm going to try and cut him off. I'm going to go down. Oh, no, look at this. He doesn't know what to do. I don't know. Yeah, he's wanting to go this way. Now, we could step into the water. It's not advisable. This is shallow enough that you're not going to swim in this water. I know that for a fact, but it's going to make us cold and stuff. So, yeah, I don't want to do that. Okay, let's look at him real quick. I think I can tell just by how slow he's moving that he's gone to another fatigue level. Yeah, see, now it says he looks fatigued as opposed to slightly fatigued. So this is exciting. Here we go. We've got him. I can tell you right now, at this point, I'm almost 100% certain we're going to kill this guy. Okay. Yeah, he's done for. He can't, unless the only thing that would save him right now is if he comes to the tree line. If he darts into the woods right now, I might lose him. But I think we're far enough away from the woods that I'm going to be able to catch him. Let's take a quick look at him. How's his fatigue level now? He looks breathless. So he's gone beyond fatigue. This thing is like on the edge of dropping. And it's possible he might drop. He's going to stop. He's going to stop running. He has no choice. His body won't let him run anymore. And we're still good. Well, I'm at 35%. See, this is true for human history. This is the advantage we have over the animals right here is stamina. So let's go for stealth mode because he's so tired right now. He's even forgot we're behind him basically. So we're in stealth mode and he still can't beat us. All right. So we're now conserving our strength. I'm creeping up on him. Let me go ahead and zoom in. As like I say, at this point, I'm certain we've got him. Oh, he sees me. Oh, no, he doesn't. Look, I'm like literally right next to you. He did not see me. All right, now I'm literally right in front of him, and he still doesn't see me. Like I said, he's just out of his mind with fatigue right now. So this is combat. We're now about to engage in combat with this animal, okay? It's not advisable. So like if this were a bear, I would be very afraid right now. But this thing is breathless. It's big, but we're going to kill it. So what I'm going to do is hit the 1 button because that's the button that is indicated by where my broad knife is at. So 1, and now it's asking me what direction is your enemy. He's to the left. And what do I want to use? Do I want to use the blunt edge of this knife or the blunt end of the knife, the edge or the point? Well, I'm going for blunt. And the reason is because I want to preserve his pelt. I don't want to put a bunch of holes in this guy's pelt. Okay. So we're going to hit him with the blunt, like the handle of our knife. And I'm going to go for a hedge. Actually, wait. Okay. I want to go for legs. Because we're probably going to be able to disable him pretty quick if we take out his legs. So I'm going to select legs, and that was it. We missed him. That was our shot. It says you completely miss. But he noticed our hideout, and we quit sneaking. Don't be ashamed if you you missed these animals a bunch. It happens. Combat is kind of like hit or miss. No pun intended. It's very hit or miss in this game. So I'm going to just repeat that process. Blunt. Legs, boom. We did hit him. We hit his hind leg. The bull elk stumbles, but he got back to his feet. Now, combat has a way to repeat the previous command, just like building and stuff does, but it's not the R button. You can see the repeat down here is still set to baiting a trap, which we did like days ago. If I want to repeat my last attack, I hit the 3 button. So a 3 on the number bar is to repeat my last attack. So we just did the legs. And look, the bull has fallen unconscious. So we have disabled this elk right now. So what I'm going to do, instead of repeating the last attack, I don't want to hit him in the legs at this point. We've disabled him. I'm going to hit him in the head. So I'm going to go for broad knife. Now I'm going to go blunt. And see, since he's unconscious, we can go for the skull itself here. So that's what I want to do. Quick and sweet. You could cut his throat, but like I say, that is going to damage the hide a little bit. So in order to keep this hide at the maximum level, we're going for the skull. We're going to crush the skull with that knife. All right, now it is a big bull, so it's going to take multiple attempts to crush his skull. But we will get it after like a dozen tries here. So I'm just repeating this over and over and over again because this is a big animal. We're basically slowly bashing its head with our knife. It's gruesome, I know, but this is survival. Okay, he has died. You can see it says the last thing, the bull elk sighs once, then stays laying dead still. So, and now you can actually see I can walk on him now. So, or previously when he's unconscious, you can't get and climb up on the bull elk. But now that he's dead, he's a corpse. He belongs to us. And I get to pick up my spear. So we got our spear back, luckily. Let's go ahead and wield the spear. I'm going to switch it with the knife, and then I'm going to take the knife off. There we go. Okay, because I don't need the knife there in my hand anymore. All right, guys. Well, that's going to do it for this episode. Trust me, next episode, first thing we're going to get to is processing this elk. So that's going to be a big one, a lot of learning. Thank you guys for sticking with me here towards the end. I appreciate it. If you haven't, hit the like and subscribe button for me. It really helps grow the channel. Check the description down there for all the links, and I will see you on the next episode.